We are live.
We're live.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
guys.
Good to see
Sorry.
everyone tonight.
Hope nobody gets motion sick. So how's everyone doing
We
tonight?
got Mandy here already. Randy Smith.
Randy and Margie, Rosinski Family Homestead.
Yep.
Welcome.
By saying congrats on the 2 years, which
Thank you.
the last 2 years have been a long 2 years with everything going on, not just the channel. But
yeah, it's been like a long 2 years, but it doesn't feel like we've been doing this for very long. And I think it's probably because I don't know about you. I'm sure it probably causes you more stress than anything, but like I generally like sharing with people. I really like finding a connection.
Honestly, it's not like we didn't have the homestead before and are doing it as part of the channel. We've been doing this well before the channel started.
You guys might as well come along with us because we're doing it anyways.
That's not to say it hasn't grown quite a bit the last couple of years.
It's been kind of crazy.
We've honestly focused even more on it, I think. So yeah, it's been
it is kind of crazy, and there have been a lot of times where we're just like, I have had lots of moments where I've been like, I don't want to do this. And then something pops up, or I get super inspired, or one of you guys, usually it's one of you guys, kind of, I don't know, it's like perfect divine timing. You'll say something, and I'm like, okay, that's why I do it. So,
and I'll be honest, like Ashley just said, homesteading, you're spending so much time around the house and things like that. It's hard to connect with people.
It really,
and doing
really
this has really allowed us to connect with a lot of new friends, new families, just people offering support.
Oh yeah,
it's
definitely.
Just been great. So.
Hello, White Shoulders, Boar Goats, and Farmstead. Emma's in the house. Betty
Fairview
Randall,
Family Farm.
Welcome. Fairview Family Farm up there to talk about Mitchell.
Sunny House of Family, or Sunny Emma House of Family. I feel like I'm out of practice. I've done it. How's the family doing? Hopefully everybody's feeling better.
Yeah.
I like her latest video. Animals don't care if you're sick.
They don't care. I was like, preach.
Yep.
Because that's like one of those things that everybody is so ecstatic to get livestock or to like have animals on their homestead and their farms. And then it's like when those moments hit or when like life is happening, I'm like, crap, I still have to make time in the dark, in the snow, through sickness, through whatever life is throwing you. Still got to take care of the animals. They depend on you. They really do. Hello, Cabin on the Hill. How are you guys?
Cabin on the Hill.
I know, I like that.
We actually looked at a cabin when we first started to build. We built the house on an empty cornfield and a little out of our price range.
It was very tempting, but it was one of the. We were brand new parents too. Joe had just turned 1 year old, and this was our first property. And it was one of those things where like, well, if we want to be in debt a lot longer,
go quite a bit smaller and do the cabin.
Yeah.
But we wanted some amenities as
we did.
Extra bathrooms, extra bedrooms.
I wanted the barn.
So.
I wanted the barn quickly, so that kind of worked into it. But we're happy with where we're at for sure. We've actually been doing a lot of reflecting here lately. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because we're just. I don't know if he feels it, but I feel like this moment of like growth coming. So not like so much on YouTube or anything, but just like for us personally. Around the farm with the things that we're doing. And I feel like more so with our local community, there's getting ready to be big growth for us. And I'm excited for that. And it's rejuvenating, but it's also made me reflect on kind of where we've come from. And it's a good feeling. It is a good feeling, to go back and think on everything.
We've got some pretty good sized plans for next year. I mean, we've already started on them with the duck pen and the garden and everything, but we're pretty aligned on things
tomorrow,
which has been helpful to get progress going. So it's been funny the last couple of projects we worked on, like we're much like-minded on a lot of basically finishing what each other's going to say on as far as the idea.
But I mean, really, we should be. Joe is 12, and we moved here right after her 1 year old birthday. So we've been at this project gearing together as a team for 11 years. So I'm happy we're at that point where we can kind of finish each other's thoughts or sentences. We've gotten all of those awkward silences where he's explaining something to me and he knows. He's like, I know you can't see this in your mind like I can, but if you'll just trust me, like you will understand as we go. And in the beginning, I couldn't. I wanted to hold on to those reins so hard, and I had to learn not to. So I don't know why we're talking about this.
Emma says we're on the mend. Thankfully, ISA was cleared to return to campus, so she was able to resume classes.
Good.
That is great news.
That's so good. I'm glad that you guys are doing a lot better.
I mean, early last week, I was getting over like a sinus infection thing going on. But just like a lot of people we know have been sick and dealing with kind of
crazy. Yeah, there's been a lot of sickness.
I mean,
a lot
just
of hospital stays. Yeah, and it's not just all the C word or anything. It's lots of things. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
So prayers to everybody out there that's not feeling well.
I'm glad that you guys are on the mend though, Emma. I was really worried about you and Eastside. I know that just sucks being bogged down.
Fable Hill Farm. Hello,
Kaylin. How are you?
Wicked awesome gardening.
Man. Welcome.
I wish I was wicked awesome at
gardening. I know. Well, we need to really try to do that because we're building new garden beds. You guys are actually going to see that tomorrow. The beginnings of the build. It's not an actual how-to. It's more like a vlog. So if vlog isn't your speed or you don't like us during vlogs, tomorrow's not going to be a video for you.
Yep. Bruce is here tonight.
Bruce, hey, what's up, buddy? And Kaylin says, happy anniversary, 2 years of lots of work, frustration, joy, tears. Yes.
That's for sure.
You know, how long have you been on the tube? So you've been pretty close to 2 years too, right? Because you've been doing this for a while too. I am so jealous that the Doe Fairy is visiting you. I'm happy for you.
What lottery did she win to get that?
4 for 4, right, Kaylin? The last four.
That would be like winning a Powerball for Ashley. The lottery, big lottery out here. Because really we've honestly had a couple of years where it was probably 50-50, but there's a couple that's been strongly.
Like the one year, it was when we were doing boars, and it was just, we didn't have, like, we had 4 or 5 does, I think. And out of the 12 kids that were born, 11 were bucks. Hello, Patty. I have been thinking about you, Miss Lady. I really have. Got big changes in your life going on. I've been thinking about you a lot. So Kaylin says, I'm sore. Just got out of an Epsom salt soak, trying to rescue my back from all the crazy work I did tonight, moving the new milk room around and cleaning the barn. Oh, and in the cold too. So like your muscles are already trying to tighten.
I will say those Epsom salt baths are wonderful.
They are cure-all. Yeah.
That's a big thing Ashley likes to use when she's sore or achy. My whole family does too. My sister, my mom. Yeah. And it's just a good way to not only just loosen those muscles and help deal with any aches, but also just like they make them scented, so it's like a relaxation thing now. Yeah, I'll go in the bathroom.
Like the coconut one, or I've got the elderberry
lavender one. You got
and he goes, he's like, man, it smells great in here. I'm like, I feel great because it was Epsom salt bath.
You do have to be careful though. After the bath, sometimes there's like a slick film.
It does kind of.
If you get in the shower afterwards, you might slide back out of the tub. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry that you are so sore, but like that is such a rewarding sore. I'm excited for that. Like we're not until March, so we have some time, but I am dying. Like I keep going out there for my does because they're just now starting. Like those older deep body does, they don't really start showing. And I've got one where she's really showing, and she usually is very deep bodied and hides them. So I'm like, all does. Like I know you're having a lot this time. Unless she's just not fooling me this year. Watch her have like one huge single buck in it. Please,
as long as they're healthy, really.
Yes.
That's the most important.
Yes, 100%.
That's why I try to tell Ashley, at least when she gets down on all the bucks.
Yeah.
At least we're having healthy kids.
Yes.
Hit the ground.
Because I think I'm a lot more morose when it's been like a good gender tit for tat type year, but when we've had like sudden or crazy like passing where it's like how did that even happen?
And you'll have some years where you do just have a lot of losses. I mean, you just have trouble kidding that year, and those are really hard years because
I always try to pray those off of us. So I'm like, I mean,
whether it's a buck or doe, you really want to have a healthy baby kid. So
yeah, definitely.
Those are heartbreaking.
Kaylin says, I'll have to look. It's definitely got to be around 2 years, and the Doe Fairy has certainly blessed me. Honestly, cannot believe it. Detour is already paying off for. I know, and he's a good-looking fella. He is a good-looking fella.
So how many have they had on the ground?
They've had 4 on the ground, and all of them have been does.
That's crazy.
Can you wish your juju on me?
Yeah.
Like, please.
Keep that buck. Apparently, he's passing the doe genes, the doe birthing genes.
I know. I actually passed on. Which one was it? I passed on a buck from her. Because I went to go get Love Bug. I'd already put a deposit on him, but I definitely would have gone with this buck had I not put a deposit down. from See You at Little Red Barn. Cannot remember. He's Shy Elk. That was Shy Elk. That wasn't Shy Elk. It's one of her daughters.
I can't help you.
She just linear appraised at like 90 or 91 last year.
For those of you that
I was morose.
Are in with the goat bloodlines and stuff.
Yeah.
The names get crazy, and it cracks me up. Like, she'll say the names. I'm like,
yeah, but see, Caitlin knows because you know, like certain bloodlines that are prominent that you like want to incorporate into your herd.
It's not one that names them like Party Favor and stuff.
Well, like that's actually Flu is out of Party Crasha, who is out of Party Fava, who is like it goes down.
So I get interesting. Which honestly, we have fun naming ours too. You know, Ashley and Joe come up with some pretty creative names sometimes. So Patty said, "Doing good, Emma. Now. I'm eating dinner right now." Seems like we're always catching Patty at dinner.
What are you eating?
Yep. You talk about dinner, you have to share.
We made cowboy beans. They were delicious. It's nice on a cold night.
Said, "I love a lavender Epsom salt bath." Yeah, it's one of Ashley's favorite.
I see you reunited with your hat. Yeah, he missed it, Ashley.
I had to wear it since
he did. The moment we got home, he's like, "I love that hat."
My brother was down there. It was last week working on their truck, doing some suspension work, and we went down to see him. And I want to say help, but really I just ended up talking to everybody. Yeah. But I left my hat down there. I always seem to leave something down there.
Who does that in the chat? Do you ever leave something everywhere you go? Because before we leave church, I have to specifically look in our pew or like the songbook holders because he's notorious for putting things down in there, mostly sunglasses.
It's usually glasses or a hat.
Yeah, and then he gets really mad when we get home. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'll check.
Kaylin said,
Lavender's where it's at. Yep, it is.
That should be said. Only got does from my accidental breedings this year.
That's how it always
does,
but there's still does.
There's Stephanie McKee. Hello.
Stephanie, the Prepared Christian. Evening. How are you? Lala Farms is in here. The cool people are live. Evening Market, Ashley. Well, thank you. Yep. How are you?
Me and Ashley are still talking about the live with you guys. We had a great time.
We always enjoy.
Ashley loved the goat talk. I know me and Rick have to sort of take a step back.
But you guys are used to that, right, Rick?
Like Rick says.
He's got the shirt. He's got the shirt. He's like, don't ask any questions about the goats. They're my wife's thing, not mine.
And I still make fun of Ashley because she froze up when you asked. At the end. She's like, I knew what it was. I even
had the shirt. I had the shirt. I was like, what is going on? It was so bad.
Can tell how to freeze her up.
Yeah.
Put her on the spot. Ashley, my sister, said, though, Juju to her too. Have one deuce.
I know, Poppy, right? Is it Poppy?
Yep.
Super excited for that. I said, "All my good dojo juju your way." I need it. I'm soaking it in.
Dojuju, because you want to say juju.
Doo-doo.
Yeah.
Give me your doo-doo juju. I don't need any doo-doo juju.
Ashley said, honestly, you cannot comment on goat names with all the weird crypto names I've seen. True.
Right.
If Ashley needs any help with that, I can offer.
Well, he really likes to name our does themed for the year, but I don't know, like the last couple of years, like I've been trying.
So the funny thing is,
been trying to be like
Flu,
spicy
I think
with them.
You've said it before, but Flu is actually I named
Barrel.
Flu.
His name is Fluted Barrel.
A lot of people think it's because Flu. We actually bought him during 2020 when, of course, the C word, which is related to the flu.
We didn't want to call him Corona or Rona or anything like that. We're like, we'll kind of do like the offset and we'll call him Flu.
Yeah, which goes hand in hand.
And Mark likes boomsticks, and he always talks about the effects of a fluted barrel on projection. So,
I love when a name helps me correlate of when it was born because I have no clue when these things are when we got them. So they just keep popping up. See, Rick, I don't know if you have that trouble too, but all of a sudden you'll be like, that looks new, but I have no idea where it came from.
Yeah, so like 1 year our sire's name was Wolfie, and I remember Willow, for hers, I like named hers after wolves and trees. So one was like Honey Locust Lobo, and the other one was Scarlet Oak, and it was some other different name for wolf. But I know Mark's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm incorporating the two without like actually being dead like, this is wolf elk or wolf oak, like it'll be something different. So sorry, we're talking about
here's some fun goat names. I am naming Sunny's Kids, Fable Hill, RPS, Snow Bunny, Snafu.
I like that.
And Fable Hill snowbird surprise because I found them in the barn on a freezing cold morning.
Bunny and Birdie.
Calling them Bunny and Birdie. Oh, that's cool.
I love it. That is so cute.
I love when they have like little backstories on their name.
Yeah, I read that post and my heart dropped for you because I know.
Hold on, Patty. Not anything good. Hot dogs. Ugh. Hot dogs are good. And had a bowl of cereal for breakfast. I need my pantry goods.
Oh, I'm sorry. That happens in the middle of a
hard
move
to get some of those goods right now.
It's hard. It really is.
Actually,
you need a checklist you can run down from Mark before you leave. I pretty much do. I'm like, what did you walk in with, and do you have that before we leave? It's like a kid.
Problem is, I can't remember if I wore it in or not. I can't help you there. I don't know which one I wore.
Howdy from across the border east. So where are you, the prepared Christian? I'd love to know.
Yeah, across the border east, which I'm thinking is Ohio.
I'm guessing it's state. Yeah, so I'm guessing you're in Ohio.
We'll find out, I'm sure.
And Emma says, we always forget something when we visit my parents, and then my mom has to ship it to us. This last trip was no exception.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, as far away as they are, you're not getting
It's a family tradition then at that point, right? Where it just wouldn't feel right if you didn't leave something at their house.
Because her family's in California. So that's quite a trip. Yeah, you're not getting that problem. Yeah, my sister dropped off the hat today because she was running errands and went by the house, which was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. We appreciated that.
Lala Farm. So
I don't know about the goats. Ask my wife. Yep. Hello, Fugate Farms. How are you guys doing? Then Rosinski Family Homestead said the husband always double and triple check when we leave somewhere.
That's a good way to do it.
Me too. Yep, Poppy's about to pop. I'm excited.
That's cool.
I just hope she does it when you're there and doesn't do the sneaky snake delivery. Like ligaments are still there.
Several. It seems like they're watching when she leaves the house, and then they decide to birth because she'll come home. She even has a camera now in her barn to try to capture them. I don't know how successful it's been because that one.
It is what it is. You know, they don't always go by our rules. Most of the time, they don't go by our plans or our rules, and I totally get it. I don't like.
I do think there is something to, and I've talked to people. Someone at work was mentioning it. Like birthing cycles with the moon. It seems like they've... Yeah,
and I do keep that noted.
I ain't saying it's definite to go by, but it seems like there is some consistency.
There is some consistency, and I do have certain does that I've had long enough that I will put the phase of the moon when they birth. And I do have a couple the last 2 or 3 years running.
I can't remember.
Well, because it has a pool and water. I mean, and that your body has a lot of water in it. It's the same for women, but I do have certain does that I've had them for 3 freshenings or so now. And probably 2 out of the 3, they've had the same moon phase. So I do feel like there's something to that.
Emma said you can also name him Corona Light with Lime.
Yeah, because he has a nice blonde color too.
Yeah. Fair Christian says Tony Romo on the Corona Hotline.
Yeah.
I think we got a trend there. Yeah. With the Corona. Kaylin says, I love that, Sonny. I enjoy a good Corona with lime or Modelo. Yep.
Yeah.
That's definitely in the couple
near
names
Lima, Ohio. So you're really not too far from us. That's stone's throw.
Cabin on the Hill. Question: how do you plan for spring babies?
Well, I plan for spring babies probably the same way I plan for everything. But I will say it, and I've got a video that I'm kind of structuring and building it out on how to plan a successful breeding season and how to kind of get your management down on your farm.
But you know the cycle of how.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I take lots and lots of notes. The moment that after my does have kidded and they hit their first consistent heats, I start writing it down so that I can time them out. Because if I can time them out, I should be able to find a good window as to when is appropriate to breed them for the spring dates that I'm shooting for. Now, if you're shooting for a show circuit, I mean, you're kind of trying to time this to make sure that your doe is, or bucks or whatever it is, but mostly your does if you're worried about kidding season, that they're in peak performance, that their body condition's back, that they've bounced back and are clean and ready enough to go to a show, because does aren't always the cleanest after birthing. I really would like to wait 30 days, if not a little bit more, before they go to a show after freshening, just because they can kind of leak for that long. And that's kind of a biosecurity thing with me, where I'm I get upset when I see people that let their animals kid at the fair Because I'm like, this is not biosecurity cohesive. Yeah. But then again, most scares aren't asking about that. But I mean, take into consideration your region. Like, when are you supposed to get pretty good,
and
consistent
one thing Ashley had
weather?
to follow up with the ADGA on is our Nigerian dwarfs do have a slightly different carry period.
So miniature breeds are supposed to have like the 145-day gestation period, whereas standard breed, the bigger type goats, are 150, and it can go 5 days in either direction. Mm-hmm. So when you're kind of mapping out heat cycles, it's funny because they
sent back paperwork saying, no, this can't be right.
Yeah, they told me that the birth date fell outside of it. I'm like, this is a miniature breed. Yeah. It falls within the 145 because they're saying it's too early.
So
this kid was born too early based off of the type of. I had a breeding memo for that doe. She was not bred on my property, so there was a service memo submitted. They're like, this one was born too early. The conception dates aren't right. I'm like, this is a miniature breed. Yeah. It's 145 days plus or 5 in either direction, and you'll see that it falls within those. I never heard anything back, but the papers came and they were approved because I was like, oh, this is a miniature breed.
I'm going to jump to some comments since we're catch up a little bit. Kaylin says, it honestly sent me into a spiraling panic. I cannot believe I had my dates off like that. Talk about shock. Trent really spent some time talking me off the crazy ledge.
But it's not. It's really not hard to do.
No.
I mean, it's especially when you're running like lots of animals where you have a lot of things going on during that timeline. It's so easy to transpose a number.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I felt free because like I've had them like that too. Back when I was doing boars, and it didn't end up as well as yours. Like, it was one of those, like, it was in the middle of January, and I'm like, you were not supposed to go for another week. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like what you had going on, and it does put you on the crazy ledge real fast.
Goats. I mean, it just things are going to happen. So
I mean, it just sucks, but especially when you're breeding.
We had the one time our buck got out and just bred a bunch of random does. And Ashley was like having fits because she's like,
none of them were cycling when I was trying to breed them. Like, what is going on? None of these does are cycling. What is there a mineral? Is there something going on with it? Mm-hmm. And then was like, I'm going to go ahead and pull blood on everybody to do biosecurity panel testing, and I'm going to pregnancy test just to make sure they are all open, because that was going to tell me something was wrong with the doe or something had happened. And lo and behold, they all were red.
Yeah,
all of them.
Mrozinski said, we have been cutting pine trees down for our driveway, making slow progress, but it's been getting done. There is supposed to be an ice storm coming this weekend.
Well, good getting those pine trees down, though.
That's a lot of work.
It is.
Trees.
Hello, Dee's Homestead.
We had recently cleaned out some trees, and that is no easy task.
Yeah. Okay, how far are you guys from Mount Pillier? I am going to the show. Okay, so that's about a 2.5 to 3 hour. I've been looking at those shows, and I creep Facebook, so I'm in a lot of the groups you are for ADJ. So when you were saying, I'm like, oh, sweet, maybe I can go see her. Because I know that we're definitely wanting to do like a couple. Is it the Heart of Indiana, Ashley? I know we were talking about this. There's actually a couple. There's Hoosier Classic. There's all kinds of things in Indiana that we're going to be doing.
Year. You've been talking about milk testing. You've got a lot of.
But there's been so many people that are trying to throw wrenches in my machine. And I'm getting super grouchy about it. Like, Mark's had to hear about it the last couple days. I won't go into details.
And then Linear, we're hoping goes through this year. So.
Yeah, we're hosting this year. Hopefully, ADJ will let us know.
With that, I think you've said is a lot of that, they don't give you like a lot of notice when they're going to come around. I mean,
they really don't.
Yeah, so it's hard to plan out too far ahead with that.
Yeah.
Because it may catch you off guard.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I would love to go to some of those shows that are kind of outside, because not like outside of like the state or anything, but like that are just a little bit further, because there are actually quite a few of the bigger breeders that I would just like to go see, like really good quality animals, like face to face, because I mean, not that I haven't been around some really good animals, but to see like those just top quality, because I'm still trying to learn what I'm looking at. I'm still trying to learn quality when I see it.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes being in the presence of like those animals that like are just, they're permanent champions. They go and they clean up at shows. I want to be able to like look at them and just kind of soak it up.
Yeah.
So, especially ones that aren't from around here.
Sure. Actually, so I was looking at the end of that show, but it's a
bit
far
far
as
north,
it's North Ohio. Yeah. Even some of those shows though, like just going to visit, even if you didn't take goats. You could probably get a lot
definitely
out of it.
go to just watch and learn.
Cabin on the Hill said, thank you. We will be looking forward to your video coming out about breeding.
Yes.
You've had a couple.
That's like my number one question is like, how do you plan out your breeding seasons, and how do you know when your goat is ready to breed? And I've already started working on those videos. They're already formatted. There's already been filming happening. I'm just trying to make sure to give you the most cohesive and thorough information without just beating my head against the boring wall, because that's going to be boring for some people, but the goat people are looking for it. I'm hoping it will help them, because this is our 10th kidding
season. I think so.
I can't believe we've been doing it that long.
So, and
only third for Nigerians, though.
We've had a couple different scenarios with it too. And even though we haven't been breeding Nigerians very long, we had boars before that. And I mean, we've done January breedings for them because for fair.
Very different.
And now this year, you've got a wide stretch of timeline that we're going to have kids hitting the ground.
This is what happens when you have lots. And I'm like, I don't want 30 does. Or, well, it's not even 30. I have 30 goats right now, but I think I have 14 or 15 that are probably bred. Yeah. I don't want them dropping all on me at one time, because with my luck, it would happen that way. And then this way, I also can focus on my kidding groups. I can focus on the kids, because if you have 60 plus kids hit the ground, you are just in survival mode. You are not, you try to be as quality and care and everything, but with so many on the ground, you are just kind of doing quality control on it.
She mentioned like about how many goats, but in the back room she does have a notebook of all the goats, when they cycled, when they were in. But that's the best way to keep track. To know which ones maybe getting close to.
Well, and to keep even good notes when you have a goat that seems to be poorly. I have one doe that she's just not a thrifty doe. She's just not thrifty. She always has trouble keeping on weight. She's a heavy milker. She gives me lots of kids every time, but she's just not thrifty. And I keep notes on her, like on her fermentation and everything, because keeping good health records on your livestock will really help you to improve who deserves to stay on your farm and contribute their genetics to your breeding program, and who probably could go to somebody as more of a home backyard milker to provide milk for them, but probably doesn't have a whole lot of purpose when it comes to performance. At least not in her generations. Now, generations that you put good bucks onto her to kind of fix her faults or to strengthen her weaknesses, that comes generations down. That's not just like a one and done fix. It almost never is, but like that can be the foundation, and you can go from there.
Lala Farms said goats love pine needles. It's a natural warmer. That's 100%. A very good point.
Hello, Hidden Oaks Homestead. I'm guessing this is Nicole. Hello.
We don't really have any pine needles up by us.
No.
I've heard that works really good as a dewormer.
Heart of Indiana is May 7th through 8th, I believe. Yes, it is.
Which Franklin, Indiana isn't too far from us.
Yes, so. And is that also Cass County? Because there's a Cass County written on my planner, but I also have Heart of Indiana, and I don't know if it's because there's Franklin 2 shows going on that weekend, or
she also said Hoosier Classic is June 11th. Yep. Kaylin said that would be so crazy. I can't imagine how stressful it is to find out your whole doe herd was bred accidentally.
It was
those dang goats.
Because I had no dates, no set dates. So like for 4 weeks, I was just like, it's bad. It's so bad. Mismanagement.
Dee's Homestead said, are you guys trying to attend HOA again this fall?
Yes.
Yep. That is definitely on our docket.
100%.
We are talking about, we don't want to get our hopes up yet, but we're thinking about trying to sneak down to the Gulf Coast Homestead. We'd love to go down there.
We want to see Chip and Nicole.
I have some work dates that may be up in question around that. So it depends on that.
It might be one of those
flight
costs. He has lots of projects. The weekend
after,
He has
I have that on site meeting.
He has that, especially if you end up traveling.
So.
And we'll see. Milk testing.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. But
that's the thing. We have just a lot of things that are trying to pull up that we want to do that pull us off of our homestead. And I want to milk test, but.
Yeah. But speaking of HOA, Ashley did get the tickets for the business conference.
So they have a business seminar that starts tomorrow and goes through Saturday. Now, the in-person, there was only like 175 slots open. Those filled up extremely fast. It was down in Columbia, Tennessee, at Rory Feeks' farm. But I did get a virtual ticket, so I will be listening to those seminars because that's something we really want to do here. We want to be a lot more involved with our community. I've started seed shopping today. Close your ears.
I saw the catalog.
But I'm looking more into like market varieties because like I would like to start plants for people. I would like to do starts, but that also means I'm also looking into lots of legalities and parameters that you have to stay within in order to legally do that. So I need some help on the business side.
Prepared Christian said neighbor is small and dwarf breeder.
Oh, really? Cool. How neat. So you probably get to go over, you get the fun part to just like go over and get
Nigerian
stretches.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. We love Nigerian dwarfs.
Yes.
Definitely happy with
Kaylin says, I would love to see you. So please let me know if you're thinking about that show. I'm still planning my show dates, but that one is a definite.
We have twisted Ashley's arm on that one.
There's probably not a lot of twisting involved because you can ask him. My planner is full like within 3 hours of our house.
Emma said they better be going to HOA. Emma, you will know. You will know if we're going.
We're going to HOA for sure.
We're planning on it. Hidden Oak says you're still on top of it, Nicole. I don't feel like that sometimes.
We feel like we chase our tails very often.
Yeah.
Time flies when you are having fun. Yeah,
it does.
It does.
Or when you're trying to keep
or
up
when
with
you're
farm
extremely
chores.
stressed. Yep. That's when you're like, where did my whole day go? I got nothing
Gail
done.
Southern Living.
Hello.
Good to have you in
How
here
are
tonight.
you?
Ashley said, I was excited to bring my goats pine needles, and they turned up their nose out. It's funny how some of them are picky on different things.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the dewormers we do as a natural one is we throw our pumpkins over. Ashley's big on doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
They seem to pick
but
through
like
them.
even for our natural dewormer, like the Land of the Villa, I just put it in with some warm water and molasses, and they each get 6 cc's. And you can ask him, like they bum rush the fence. I don't almost
nice
have
when you're
to
trying
go
to
in.
medicate something.
Yes, when
that
they
want
what you're giving them. I think I only have 2 does, one all the time. Like I get really lucky if she comes up, but it's mostly because she hates my guts.
Chip and Nicole have a good question. Have you tried feeding garlic regularly? Does it make a difference?
It does boost their immunity. Now, Kaylin is actually going to be a really great person for you to, especially if you're wanting holistic treatments for your goat. Kaylin knows her stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm also on a holistic goat care page on Facebook, and some of the stuff that I've learned there is amazing. Yeah. But garlic is supposed to help boost their immunity. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I know lots of people that top dress it. I try to top dress with garlic right before kidding, just to kind of to boost them, to keep them nice and fit, because the last thing I need is a doe going down right before her kinning date.
And one thing nice about some of that natural stuff like garlic, pine needles, pumpkin, stuff like that, is actually what talked about with the Lala Farm Life is, the withdrawal periods aren't there. Yeah. You don't have to worry about overdosing. Like when she's out there giving the wormer, she don't have to worry, oops, I may have gotten an extra dose in this.
Well, and it's one of those too where it's like you could triple and quadruple dose even a bred doe, and it's not going to hurt them. Mm-hmm. And for me, that is a huge concern, especially because some chemical dewormers are just huge no-nos for does that are either in the beginning or the ending of their gestation, depending on the dewormer. So it's super, when people just throw chemical dewormers at goats that are pregnant, I'm like, you really want to do your research before you do that, because it's a terrible feeling when you've caused that kind of stress on their body and harm to the kid because you just didn't know. It's just one of those sad accidents that kind of happens, but all that can be prevented as long as you do your research and ask your vets.
When we were using the chemical warmer, I'd actually have to go help her by keeping a checklist of which goat got the dewormer, so she didn't double dose. Yeah, because it was a risk.
You can overdose on some of those chemical dewormers. It's not good for them.
Ashley, always helpful with the location. Yes. Said Case County is further north, so it's up there.
We really want to, Nicole. Mm-hmm. Like it has been one of those, like, I keep asking, like, are you sure you can't get out that week? Yeah. Are you sure you can't get out earlier that week? It might be
a last second decision we have to make, but definitely on our bucket list for sure.
You got a surprise for us if we're coming to Florida. We're coming.
That makes it worth it right there.
We really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and we love Rachel from Dusty Goat. So I would love to come down into your guys' neck of the neighborhood.
Ashley always gets excited seeing the messages from Rachel. She always talks about it each day. Like, hey,
Rachel reached out to me today.
Which she's also not been feeling well lately. And her family's been
sickness is just wreaking havoc
keep
everywhere.
Them in your prayers as well. Kaylin said, Detour's kids are really impressing me so far. He has definitely given me that long level rump, which is something we have been really trying to get in our herd. I was hoping he would stamp on his kids, I decided I'm selling one of the 4 doelings after 10 to 12 weeks.
Who are you selling it to?
Yeah. Ashley
I could come see you. I'm just saying,
if there is a goat for sale, Ashley is a prospective buyer.
Kaylin and I've seen Vitor, and I know where he comes from, and I know your does.
So, quick question: do they have any bloodlines mixed with ours already? I know you've been trying to get, so that makes it even more intriguing. Because we do have a couple that have crossed bloodlines, not like close enough for you have to be concerned, but you don't want to keep
back that I wouldn't really worry about.
You just don't want to keep breeding in that same sort of family tree. Lala Farm said that would be awesome if you make it to the Gulf Coast meetup.
Yes, because you guys are in that area too. Duh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we're going. We're getting on an airplane and we're going. I'm just saying.
I just have to work from. I said I have to go to the Gulf Coast homestead and sit there and work.
It's on the weekend. You could work like a couple days that week, and then.
White shoulders, boar goats, and farmstead. Hello. 10 of our does kitted from December 1 through 6. It was crazy.
See, that's when you're
wow. You had a lot of goats hitting the ground.
That's when you're just like, what is the?
Yeah.
I don't know what
you turn around, it's like when you were helping one and you turn around and look, oh, that one's kidding too.
Yeah, we did have one year where it was the year of all the accidental breeding. So I'm like, did you guys all just kind of get together? But it was every time one would go, I knew within 24 hours or like in the next hour, one's getting ready to go again. So
yeah. So
stressful.
Question, because Ashley always likes to know how many kids and what was your ratio to buck?
Has the buck fairy visited you? I hope not. I wish that on no one.
She's always intrigued by what other people are having, and then also get to rub it in if you have more does than bucks, because we always have buck fairies.
My saying is that it's got ornaments.
Yeah.
So when they're born, I'm like, oh, it's got ornaments.
Which, honestly, though, from a boar standpoint, the bucks aren't quite as bad because they are meat goats.
Well, they're meat goats, and the weathers were what everybody wanted to take to shows. So, like,
that was nice.
A good thing.
The boars, it was funny because we did get closer to a 50-50 mix, where Nigerians, we really want the does, and we really haven't had that much luck.
This is the year.
This was the year.
Kaylin
said, I still want to go to HOA. We highly recommend it. It's awesome. This year is definitely not happening though. Too much with shows.
I know.
We're Ashley's feeling.
I'm really wanting to milk test this year, but because of things like that, I've just really been like, am I setting myself up for failure? And I don't take failure well.
The Prepared Christian, we got our Baker Creek catalog 2 weeks ago.
Pure Temptation, right? Pure Temptation. Danette, hello and welcome. Hello. How are your goaty goats doing? Just had your first baby?
Oh,
what?
Congrats.
That is so awesome.
I need to learn more about milk testing.
Baby steps. That's all I'm going to say, because I still read it and I'm like,
Dee's Homestead said, I wanted to attend the HOA business one this weekend, but couldn't make it happen.
Yeah,
we wanted to go on location, but we're going to do the virtual.
Yeah.
I just didn't have things work out. Emma, glad I didn't plan on going to Gulf Coast. I would have felt bad not being able to go.
Yeah.
There's always next year.
Yeah, next year.
And that comes around faster than you realize.
It does. I can't believe we're already like towards the end of January.
And that said, also, mine love animal crackers.
I have not tried animal crackers with mine.
I snuck and did it with mine. With my animal cracker. You know how I like animal crackers.
I know how
I snuck out and did a couple. They did like them.
All of them?
Huh? No, I didn't know my animal crackers.
So you didn't bring out enough for each doe? That was just Jake.
I tested on a couple.
That's
I heard
terrible.
Somebody else mention it. They did like it.
So Kaylin says, I actually let my tree dry out and then I cut branches to fit in gallon Ziploc bags so I can feed them throughout the. That is very smart. That is very smart. Do you do any tree hay?
That's what I was going to ask.
Is that what you were? I keep telling him, like, we need to try tree hay, like, at least in the winters to kind of spice it up their forage.
And that makes a good point. I don't give Christmas trees that you buy because they paint. They can, and there's risks to that. So
whenever someone asks me if I want a Christmas tree, I'm like, where did it come from? Can you verify that it's not been sprayed with anything icky that's going to hurt my goats? And when they say, I don't know,
I think they spray on them to keep them fresh longer.
Yeah.
From what
well, obviously, and to keep them free of pests and everything else, all of which can. And I think there are certain types of pine.
Well, one guy was painting them red, white, and blue this past year. I saw that. Not sure I want that as a Christmas tree as much as I like red, white, and blue.
Oh, okay. But they're patriotic. Go them. Get it.
Somebody buys it. Why not?
Kaylin says, thanks, Ashley. I appreciate that. I certainly have a unique background when it comes to holistic medicine, and I love applying it to livestock management. I'm testing out a new postpartum herbal. Well, that's exciting. Let us know how that goes, because people more and more are moving away from chemical. And I get it. There's a time and a place for chemicals, but if you can do it holistically or herbally, let's do it that way.
Look at the Lala Farm. I bought a truckload of pumpkins at 6 p.m. on Halloween from one of the roadside stands. Truckload for $20. Goats and chickens thought they went to heaven. That is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Did you guys get that video? I want to see that. All those pumpkins laying out there. That's funny. A whole truckload. Hey, that's perfect timing. I mean,
that's crazy.
Halloween night, they're like, after this, nobody wants pumpkins. So
hello, what is she up to now? What are you up to now? How's it going?
Kaylin, dewormer I made for my does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Always so nice. I really am appreciating more and more the holistic approach. Mine love their Replimand, but I'm too. Where I'm just like, easy.
Slow down on. Kaylin said, I was lucky to get my tree this year off my brother-in-law's tree farm. And they don't use any chemicals. Yeah, if you know the source, it works. Yeah,
perfect. If you know that, because then even if like they don't know, you can call that person. Like, do you treat your trees?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they get calls all the time about giving it to livestock. So that's definitely something that concerns livestock enthusiasts. You don't want to feed them anything. Like that one lady thought she was giving them, it was Japanese yew.
That was in with something.
And I think she thought she was giving them juniper or something else. Some type of evergreen.
That had done work.
Well,
brought it over.
Yeah. And they thought that it was a specific type of bush. I cannot remember what evergreen, but it actually was Japanese yew and it killed her entire herd. Yeah. It was horrific. The pictures were just terrible. Mm-hmm. So you just got to be careful about that stuff.
Yeah.
And Lala, since we are on the other end of I-10, we are near the Atlantic coast.
Ooh, nice. So yeah, close to the Gulf Coast.
We want to go.
Yeah.
We as an I want to go.
I'm glad you skipped this one. I guess I will say. Kaylin said I could definitely make that dough available to you, Ashley.
Let me know. The only thing. Let me know. I'm on so many wait lists.
You got kids hitting the ground. Hold up.
But
hold up.
You're always going to need to refresh your genetics.
I won't.
Part of livestock husbandry.
Like
you could
Rick
buy a
says,
boomstick
I just
if I
live
can get
here.
another gun.
Rick said, another gun, yeah.
Well, if I get another goat,
like Rick says, I just live here. Chip and Nicole, I wish I could take time off and tour all the homesteader events and do a farm tour, but can't just leave the farm. Yeah, it's hard.
It really,
if you do
sucks.
that, that'd be awesome to do a video. Then we could feel like we went to a homesteader events. I totally agree with you. That would be awesome. Just HOA was awesome. So imagine there's so many cool events out there that
in Columbia, Tennessee, where they've been having these next couple of events is only like 5 hours versus the 8. So I'm like, what's wrong?
There's no good reason, like I said earlier.
And it's not too far from Nashville, and we love Nashville. So
I was gonna say there's another good reason, Lala Farm, which I mentioned earlier, but we will be at the Gulf Coast meetup next year.
I'm so excited.
That one sounds like it's gonna be booming next year.
I think so too.
You had a great list of speakers the first year too.
Yeah. Danette says, I now have 7 go math girl.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, go math.
Only gonna go up from there.
That's a thing.
Celtic Roots, hey party people.
Celtic.
Hello.
How are you,
was
Jay?
It mountain bike rider?
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool. I
We
show
were
you that picture.
enthralled after that. I was like, look at Jay.
Cool.
When he's young doing like the whole mountain biking. This is insane.
And then was it sponsored by Monster? Which I always collect the tabs, and I think I got some awards. I always like
collected enough to get a hoodie. Yep. It was one of those deals.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
The Lala Farm say animal crackers are cracked. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean I need to keep? But if I buy animal crackers, I have to buy even more for him.
Yeah, I go through animal crackers.
He will compete with the goats, and I don't know who's going to win on that one.
Ashley said, I buy animal crackers only for my goats. But Ashley knows I like to dip mine in cake icing. Yeah, that's my...
If I get the ice ones, pleasure. He's like, they just skimp on it.
Yeah, I have to have a whole pile
of those because I know the score that I will receive.
I have a major sweet tooth.
Oh my goodness. So, hey Haas, how are you? He says, just popping in to say hi and congrats. We have basketball practice tonight. I feel like Bill Murray at the end of Space Jam. I just put myself into ice like Encino Man.
I have to admit, I cringed a bit at your Facebook post when you asked for a fantasy band from a movie or show, and they said Metallica from Cobra Kai. Yeah, that's what I had on his post. So Haas, I was like, oh man, this is not, this can't be happening.
Make it stop.
QA Farm said, I'm not a fan of animal crackers, but my buck sure loves them. Yes. The goats did love them.
Maybe if
but
Blue
like I
likes
said,
them,
I don't know if I can share them because I love animal crackers.
Blue's been a little butthole. Not liking that goat right now.
Yeah, for sure.
50-50. That's not bad. That's not bad. White shoulder.
I was talking about
that's not bad.
The doe ratio.
There have been some years where I would have paid money for
50-50. Yeah, 50-50 would have been good odds for us.
Yeah, as Adrian would say, everything is a chemical. Yes, this is true, Emma. She does say that, and you're made up of chemicals.
White Shoulders said, had a 6-week-old 48.5-pound buck kid, a true monster. That is a monster. Wow. That's impressive growth.
I was going to say, we can put him in parade again at a fair somewhere. Yeah. I mean, like, that's impressive. Don't you love when they get those really good genetics, though, when they're just great growers?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, man, I don't have to hardly do anything with this sucker. Like, they're just, their genetics are engineered to grow.
Yeah. Like our bucks, of course, are dairy based, so they don't gain weight like that. But the difference between two of our bucks right now, so we have Willie, which is offspring of Flu, and Love Bug, who we brought in.
Yeah.
The difference between those two is crazy.
But to give Love Bug his due, he did battle Barber Pole, but about took him.
And he was a bottle fed, which sometimes can.
They're a little bit stunted, but Willie had that great growth rate, which was the reason I kept him, because he's out of Flu and he's out of one of my favorite does to put those genetics in my other does.
A great top line, it looks like. So,
I'm so excited for him.
Hello, Al Creek. Good to have you in.
Cody, how are you? How's it going?
Yeah,
super toxic.
Yeah.
Crazy toxic for goats.
I love how Patty always knows all the different plants.
Apple horse treats, yes. My goats love those. When I had Rain, my horse from like years ago, they would fight over that. They would fight over the apple horse treats.
Patty's comment. We still need to try the cattails. Remember how she was
I still have those. I have them stored.
We need to try them. I'll just dip them in the cake icing. I'm dipping my cake icing.
You're gross.
Yeah.
You guys want to see a video on that? Mark dipping a cattail in the cake icing and eating it?
It's like coffee. I like to, if it don't taste good, I just add more creamer to it.
Shameless plug for views.
But Lala Farm is right. That has a crazy big buck.
It is a crazy big buck. Like, you get one like that and you're like, oh man, you just keep growing, buddy, and you'll be able to keep your ornaments if you play your cards right.
Rosinski's asked, what is a good goat breed for eating brush and milking? We want goats, but really don't know much about them.
Any goat will eat brush.
Yeah. They prefer
Any
brush
goat will eat brush. So, I mean, and when you're taking, I mean, I milked my boars and I still enjoyed their milk. Great milk.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends, like, what's your overall goal? Is it just to get your brows down?
And how much area do you have? Like, we have Nigerians, which are better geared to a small area. Like Lala Farm has the Kikos. Those are very good for brush and very hardy goats.
They are super
hardy. But they get bigger. So if you want
they are big, and they're considered like a dual purpose. I know some people will milk them, but mostly they're for meat. But Kinders.
Yeah.
Kinders are supposed to be another good hardy goat for things like that. You don't see Kinders as much though as you do like Kikos.
Typical, Alpine.
Or like a dairy mix. I mean, but that kind of depends how much milk you're wanting to.
Yeah, Toggenburgs and Sonnens.
They will produce.
They can bring out.
They will put milk in a pail. So if you're really weary on wasting milk, or you don't have a whole lot of use, you're going to need a tank. You're going to need a tank. It's a lot of milk. So when it comes to that, like, you might have like maybe 1 or 2 does that are milk, and then 1 or 2 wethers.
I'll be honest, another good crossbreed is Nubians. They're real good too.
Nubians aren't crossbred.
No, I mean like a
crossing
meat
them with something.
No, I mean like a meat / milk.
Oh, like a dual purpose. They're not a cross. They're dual purpose. I was like, that's a purebred.
But they're good at eating brush. They're taller good too. So if you want
but they're known to be loud.
They can be
loud.
But they do have the cute long ears.
They do have the big floppy ears, but you could get those from boars, and you can get
those
from
ones
Kikos
we saw in the Middle East. I think it was those ones.
Oh my gosh, huge Roman noses, long ears, and they walk, and they're like.
Yeah, those are cool too.
I would like one of those goats. Yeah, I would like that, but. Since white shoulder boar goats is your milk getting warm up, it's about time for bottle feeding. Yeah.
Then that said,
is that a sign? Hey, go get your milk started because we gotta go bottle feed.
Danette said, yeah, mine attacked me for animal crackers. Yep. They will. If they find that, honestly, like Ashley said, the wormer even,
they do. They love it. Dilly has decided she likes that dewormer. So I really have to shoo her off because if she's at the fence, nobody's coming near her. Nobody's coming near her.
Farm said, when I'm giving the goats their crackers, I sneak a few and Lala yells at me to wash my hands.
You should say I'm boosting my immune system.
Hold on, Lala's yelling at you. We had that talk on your live about her coming in. What was she fixing dinner?
Honored, though. She changed clothes for us.
She did.
For a farm girl, like in the middle of kidding season, changing clothes for somebody is like, that is a big sign of respect. So I was like, girl, I wouldn't even do that for somebody kidding season.
Here's the good one. Haas said, I had Metallica, Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and BTS all given as fictional bands today. We are doomed. I'm sure you were just like, oh,
are you serious?
Let's wrap this class up.
I have to go back and look at that post just because, like, that makes me cringe, but I'm also like, that cannot be true.
Let's see. Celtic Root said, Cheryl will be starting a new Homestead holistic approach to health series. She'll be talking about chronic illness and alternative medicine. She's been a nurse for over 20 years.
That's awesome.
I think right now is a great time.
It is a great time for that.
Things have been
100%. 100%.
People feeling not well.
Yeah.
I think that is much needed.
I'm actually going to be participating in a collaboration in February, and we're going to go over the benefits of fermented goat's milk, which I will be trying because I don't know how much she wants that out. I'm not sure how much she wants that out there yet, so just know.
Yeah, keep on them. So more
I let them take care of that. That's their collaboration.
She's the one actually been.
I really like her. But I was approached to participate, and I'm like, I like goats, and this is a good way for me to learn. So I'm doing fermented goat milk and all of its benefits.
It's a new adventure for us. I mean,
yeah,
we're always willing to try something new. So.
Yeah, I want to see what the health benefits are, and if it's gross, like I feel like it's going to be, but I don't think it might not be.
Still gonna eat it. Open mind.
I'm still gonna eat it.
And it said, my newest dough is bred with a flat rock silver with great genetics.
That's so nice.
Oh, that's awesome. And especially it being a dough.
Flu has flat rocks genetics, not silver, but he's got flat rocks genetics in him. His mama is one away from her permanent championship, which I'm like, show her, dang it. Take her, so get close. That done.
Caitlin said, had to pop out for a second. Grammy just dropped Ellie off. Aww. So while girl, leave it to grandma to give her cake and ice cream. This is why I can't take lavender baths. I need to be awake. Yep. Give them the sugar, then hand them off. Yep.
I once went in to pick up Joe for my mom, and I walked in, and she was at the table at breakfast with cookies and ice cream. I'm like, what is this crap? Like, why are you feeding this?
Benefits of being a grandparent. After that, you know that they're going home. So.
Oh, so Cody does Tostitos scoops and chocolate icing.
There you go.
Is that like, do you get like the salty and the sweet then?
Say, that does sound good.
That sounds pretty nice.
That maybe we're trying
that.
Because I do like chips and salsa, so we usually have.
He is a chips and salsa.
Tostitos scoops around the house. So actually, we've got some right now. Lala Farm said we send our top 4 to 5 performing bucklings each year to West Virginia for performance testing. Last year, one of ours won the Ribeye Develop contest.
1 out of 182.
Number 1. That is impressive.
Amazing. That is really cool.
That is awesome.
That is super-duper cool.
That's definitely a selling point. Like, hey.
Yeah, look at these genetics.
The Ribeye Develop. Yeah. That's why it's got the ribeye.
Which I think is also part, not to mention we're wanting to breed for better breed quality for Nigerians, but just to kind of like getting into the performance side of things, that is like proof that you are breeding for perfection. There is never going to be a perfect goat, but you're aiming for it. And sometimes like to know that people are aiming for it is enough for me, where I'm like, just trying to better the breed is important. But things like that are that's the proof in the pudding when they go and they perform like that, you know, that is super nice.
Kaylin said, if we had way more acreage until we raised Kikos too. That was on our list.
That was on our list right before
breeds.
we got our boars.
But a big determining factor was the fact that Ashley could have more goats in a smaller pen with Nigerians. Because even though I think we have about just under probably 3 acres fenced in, they don't keep all the grass down on it. Like
no,
even
the donkeys help, but even then we still have to bush hog. Yeah. We still have to bush hog. Nigerians,
I think I read somewhere it's like 20 to 25, somewhere in that range. You can keep on a half acre.
Yeah.
And keep, supplement as well, but they have a small footprint.
They do have a small footprint on their environment, which is why they're wildly popular.
They're much smaller and a big.
But I think like for me, it was like I could get more goats, but they came with blue eyes, and I really did come in on like a pet enthusiast portion where I'm like, they come in all
just
kinds
white
of
and brown,
colors.
and you could get a couple other variations, but for the most part, ours were white with a brown head.
Yeah, we had started getting to black genetics, and that's like a big thing when they're black and they're spotted and they're moon spotted.
Don't like it either.
Yeah, some people hate it, and especially for shows, if you came in with a colored goat, especially for like purebred boars, because a lot of people it kind of just skews. Yeah. Like being able to really evaluate that animal. But for me, I'm just like, no, because if you have a really good judge, they're going to put hands on the animal. Mm-hmm. A person that walks in and doesn't touch my animal and then judges, I'm like, you need to touch the animals.
We've mentioned before, they're easier to handle. We had some scares, of course, with some bigger boar goats where our daughter's small. We didn't trust her.
Definitely could have hurt her.
In a pen with the box. Ashley, she can handle herself, but
my vet, the first thing he taught me when we were dealing with goats was how to flip them safely. So I knew how to do it. Yeah. And those poor bucks,
they're big enough.
They get big enough.
You get caught off guard. They can do some damage. Mm-hmm. So, White Shoulders said, I went to this first year was 99% bucks. We've been close to that, haven't we? I think that one year we had like a streak of 8 bucks.
It was 11 out of 12. It was the last kid that hit the ground was a doe. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I got at least one female. I didn't even end up keeping her. I ended up selling her.
Ashley said, I only have 1 acre. Otherwise, I'd want some overs too. Yes. Ashley, my sister, had overhausley's growing up. So she liked that breed. White Shoulders said, commercial mom is 185 pounds, sire 300 pounds. See, a 300-pound goat, if it gets you down, it's good. But that is awesome how much muscle that thing probably has.
That's amazing.
I'm always in awe when you see them, like the show ones. How they look like cows almost.
Yeah. And then Fable Hill's given Lala the due respect, saying, Lala Farms, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. You must be doing something right with your breeding. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I really like when people can tout that, because you're always, especially when you're breeding for specifics where you tend to be picky, like as a breeder, people always think you're like a snob. Yeah. But then it's when things like that come out of your herd, you're like, this is why. Yeah. This is why I'm specific. This is why I'm
the fact they went out and got the confirmation. That's something you've been wanting to do too.
Yeah.
Get that from
even for linears, I don't expect any of my girls to appraise high at all. I want to learn. I want someone who knows what they're doing to come in and say, this is where she needs improvement. This is where she is strong. And to look at my bucks and say, this is where he is strong and this is where he needs improvement, to help me better pair my animals to get a stronger animal in the next generation.
Well, 4-to-1 ratio bucks to does this year. It's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Celtic, I just want one that sticks their tongue out and does that spitting thing. Any buck will do that for you.
If they have their ornaments on, they're going to do
I'd
that.
Be entertained for hours. Rosinski, can't wait to see the chronic illness video.
I know, that sounds really interesting.
I think that would do
super interesting. So you want a clown goat, Jay? Yeah. Why not? That's when they're fun.
Oh, Chip and Nicole are part of Fermented February too.
Are you? Oh, that's right. I saw you on the spreadsheet.
Even though Chip said no more recipe videos.
Hey.
We'll sneak in a couple more, I think.
Now, Chip, happy spouse, happy house, happy wife, happy life. It's not going to kill you to have one more recipe video.
Shay asked, is there such thing as a clown goat? We have dressed up our goats, so you can.
I did do a Halloween parade with my goat.
Well, farm had to head out. It's good to have you guys.
Bye, Rick.
Then that said, my Nigerian buck is like chocolate, but the black on the head, underneath belly and legs is he a
Chamize.
I couldn't remember how you pronounce that for a second. Is he a Chamize?
Usually that's what I would like to see a picture of him, because there can be combos.
What was that form we were part of that did all the trying to figure out what color?
Nigerian dwarf color. Because there are different modifiers that can lay on top of specific patterns. You can have combos. But if you're going to go to that specific page and ask, make sure you have pictures of the sire and the dam, because 9 times out of 10, if you don't, they're going to be like, well, we can't be really sure. So what we're telling you is basically a guess. So if you have pictures of sire and dam, that really helps. But normal from what you're just describing, especially like on the belly.
Picture to Ashley too.
That black on the belly is usually pretty big identifier for Shenzhen.
Yeah, I didn't realize moon spots were such a big thing until Ashley would get excited when the kids had them.
Well, they're not because they matter to me. They help to sell things. They help to sell. People like that. It's like icing on top of the cake.
Kaylin said, I showed under a judge last year that barely touched the animals in the class, and I was so upset. How can you appropriately place those animals if you aren't putting hands on them in the field?
100%.
That was a
100%.
Big, point of concern, and people getting upset with the virtual fair when we did that during 2020. Is we have a virtual fair, and really, it almost depended on how good a photography.
It really did, or if you could edit a video, or if you could get the right angles, or if you took into consideration lighting. Specific lighting can either make your animal look better. I won't even give that, because you have timelines to do this.
True,
so you have time to reshoot. And that was a big thing. Like, I sat on the meat goat board, and that was one of my first thing. I'm like, people are going to get really upset over placings, and it's just going to have to be one of those nasty pills that you're just going to have to swallow, because it's either virtual because of COVID or nothing. When you've already had all of your projects purchased and have been growing them out.
But she's totally spot on.
But 100%. When they don't touch a goat and they place it, I'm like, you don't really know if that goat is specifically to be placed there.
Look at this. This is a nice little hint. White shoulders. I made some blueberry kefir with goat's milk last year. It was great. Time to bundle up. Go bottle feed. Hope we'll get back to you.
Thanks for being with us, but I'm really.
You might have to reach out.
Is that kefir or kefir? I'm bad with pronunciation.
That's something she's thinking
Hooked
about.
on phonics. Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I am thinking about that. That's because you use the kefir grains to make that kefir, right? Because the grains are actually like the microbial that reacts with the milk.
And goat's milk.
I've been reading up on it. I've been trying to read, so I actually know what I'm doing.
So I thought that would spark your interest, because that was.
Especially blueberry, adding in flavors on top of it sounds nice.
Let's see. Danette said, I wanted to learn too, but it's hard when you are the only one that breed Nigerian. Yeah, when we got into it, there wasn't a lot of people
Facebook,
in there.
But I will also issue a warning. There will be a lot of people on Facebook forums that will give you their opinions, and there are so many different research journals and everything else that you can put in front of them. And they will still be like, nope, it is this. And so you have to take that as a grain of salt. Kaylin knows a lot about the modifiers and genetics when it comes to color, because I've seen her. I creep everybody on Facebook, I tell you. But she knows a lot about the color genetics as well. Wait, was she up there above that?
Yeah, she had mentioned out to her. Let me see. Yeah, she said, Danette, the parts of the goat that should be black would be chocolate to be a chocolate.
Chocolate, chamois.
Chamois can still have variant shades. Yep.
Does that go as well for sungaos, if I'm saying that correctly? Color patterns, the way they're pronounced.
Why do they have to make it so complicated? Like, there's like blue, green, and they have to come up with chamois and
because
all those weird ones.
I'm pretty sure that Belle and Tiana are sungao, but they are more chocolate than like the dark sungaos that I've seen.
It's part of the goat crazy talk, is what it is.
It is what it is.
Keltogru says, Cheryl does that for me every day. She loves telling me what I need to improve. So that's how it works, Jay. I know. Yep.
A wife looks at it as more of like a helpful suggestion, like a nudge in the right direction.
Yep. Don't get your ego too high there.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That said, I'll go to your site and post.
Do it. Yeah, do it. I would love for you to do that.
Yep. Actually, I always like talking about and looking at them. I know you spent
I do.
sometime early in a Nigerian course, a lot of time on it.
Well, when I was more concerned on color, but then at the same time, like, you kind of owe it to whoever you're selling your animals to know as much about them in the correct terminology that is possible. When someone says it's a white, black, and brown, I'm like, that does me no good. What is the pattern? Like, what's the pattern? For identification of your goat purposes.
Yeah. Highly Combustible Reacts. Hello. Happy channelversary. Glad I found y'all. Best of luck on the channel and the animals this upcoming year. Very cool topic matter. Hope everyone's blessed and well.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you for stopping in and sharing our channelversary with us. We appreciate that.
Fairview Family Farm. We saw that a lot at a lot of fairs last year. They were not touching animals at all. Yeah.
And I don't know why they do that.
Some judges almost seem like they're that way, though. Like, they'll be like, I don't need to.
And it's like, well, especially if you're doing market animals, you can fit a boar wether to look like they have an explosive rear end, just like
shaving and
powerful, full of muscle. But if you put your hand on it, you can tell, like, this is because of fitting that this rump looks so full, that their twist is so full. You got to touch the animal. You just have to. It tells you a lot of faults if you can put your hand on an animal. 100%. Sorry. It's a big
Hello, David Outdoors says, hey! I've been plowing lots of roads lately. Long week so far.
I am so sorry to hear that.
I saw the video with your super cold weather and your retaining wall, which is AKA his log pile, because it was frozen solid and he was trying to beat logs apart. So I know it's cold there.
I am so sorry to hear that. That sucks.
His name's Paul at Highly Combustible. So remember that.
Yes.
Caitlin said.
Yes. Caprine Confirmation Clinic. Yep. Ashley, the other Ashley in here, my sister-in-law, I know she's on there a lot too. Yeah. I love.
There are good groups.
There are some really good informational groups, but that one, there are a ton of super knowledgeable people that will give you straight up answers. And if you need more photos, which I'm like, I can't really tell on this photo. My favorite thing to do is to go through and pick the animal up here and find the ones with lots of comments, especially comments with people that I know their stuff, and see like how closely did what I put up here match what they put down in the comments. And if it's close, I'm like, yes. But if not, I'm like taking notes. Yeah, that was a great
page. Emma's comment. I'll let you read it.
Where's it at? Which one?
Right there in the middle.
How do you shut up? You shut up,
You need to type it in Google and figure out how to pronounce it.
Shut up, Emma.
Probably pronouncing it wrong.
Hooked on Pond. Quinoa.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Quinoa. I'm typing it in right now.
Bruce says, our pleasure. Kaylin says, I'm not sure about was it Sundagu, Ashley?
Sungao.
Yeah,
that's how it's spelled. That's why it throws me off how it's actually pronounced.
There is a bit of a debate about those, it seems. I'm confused. Detour is a chocolate charm and
chamois
buckskin combo, which I like because it gives multiple color options.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree
Ashley's
with that.
A fan of that.
I gotta go on here. Be hooked on phonics.
So say, how do you pronounce
Kafir pronunciation. You hush. You let me do my own work here. Pronunciation.
So Google is good for some things.
Kafir.
Kafir.
There you go. Kafir. Just remember that, because I'm sure you'll mispronounce the next one.
Kafir, because I called it kefir. Like a heifer.
That's what you get for trying to sound it out.
Kafir.
And I said, I have been studying my goats before getting any, but the color thing is killing me.
Yeah.
Now I am considering milk testing my girl because she will get her 3rd star.
Oh, wow. So 3rd generation star. That's awesome.
Yeah, the color thing does sound overwhelming. Actually, like I said,
it is.
When she was early on trying to figure out some of the color.
I kind of get like the gold dominant. The black has to have recessive from both sides in order to get black. I understand that one of the parents has to be gold in order to get gold, and one of the parents has to have moon spots or blue eyes in order to get moon spots or blue eyes, or to be polled.
Yep.
But anything like you start talking modifiers, and I'm just like, it is so hard for me to understand. Go away. No.
Kaylin said, not that I breed for color, but hey, it's fun to go out in the barn.
It is.
And have beautiful goats that are also flashing.
Well, yeah. And especially if someone asks, I don't want to be like, it's black, brown, and white. I want to be able to tell them what the actual pattern is. And even though there's a lot of white on there, like the white is just like an overlay.
Like we said, that was part of the winning factor for getting a dreams.
I started there. I started with, they have so many different colors and patterns. And then when I started realizing like that they were dairy and I started to have a passion for dairy, I was like, I probably don't really care much about color.
David Outdoors says, going to bed 2 a.m. comes early, snowing out again.
Boo!
Funny thing was that big snow cell that came through in the Midwest area, like Indiana had like it looked like an eye of a hurricane, and we were in that.
All around us.
We have no snow.
It was giving like your projections to date, and everywhere around us was like pink and red and blue and purple. So, and for us, there was nothing. We were gray.
If you got snow, let us know how much snow you got, because I'm like always interested to people like, we got slammed. I'm like, really? Because we didn't get anything. But funny thing is, they did show a little weather radar today, and there's a recreational lake not too far from here, which is good size. Yeah. And they had lake effect snow off of it, which was funny because
now the weather. Danette, Kaylin will probably answer your question better because she does do the testing. I'm pretty sure she does the 3. She says you do, because there's like a 240-day test, right? There are multiple different types of testing for milk
for 305 days.
Yeah, so you weigh milk for 3, and there are specific tests where they want you to go to 305. And doesn't that matter if it's like an ST or an AR star? And one can qualify you for superior genetics at one point in time. I get really confused because I'm new to milk testing. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be, because I don't think I could do 305 days. I 240 days would probably be really pushing it, especially with how spread out my kidding dates are. I kind of want to do the test where once they meet their specific amount of tests that they have, like they have to have, like some have to have 8 tests plus a verification test, or some tests like that. Or if they meet their weight, then they get their star. Yep. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go.
And that said, I'm in Michigan here. What is the best? Because Kaylin said you do have to do 305, I think, to be considered for top 10. Yep, yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, because there are certain. I try to go. If you go onto DHIR and DIA goats on Facebook, that group is super helpful. Though I have run into quite a few snobs when it comes to like asking questions, because they're like, if you're not going to do the 305 days, then why do it? And it's like, well, because people have lives and people don't all have to be fit into this tiny little box. You should really want to lift up whoever wants to have performance or add data on their herd. Well, the point is to have data on your herd, you know, to understand who's a good producer, you know, who produces the highest amount of butterfat or who does more protein, and to figure out data in that manner to give you a really superior animal when it comes to lactations. Yep. Someone shouldn't snub you for not doing a 305 day. They should say, well, at least you want data, you know, and maybe at one point you will go to 305 day. Yep. Don't be a snob.
No AR stars if they meet components in all 3 categories: butter, fat, protein, and pounds of milk. Okay. Yep. Wolf said hello.
Hey,
guys,
Kat.
sorry I'm late. We had a possum attacking our ducks.
That's definitely way more important.
Yeah, sure. Like, hopefully they didn't get any
dispatched?
Ducks. Yeah. Hopefully they didn't get any of your ducks.
I hope they didn't. That's so awful.
But it is that time of year. I mean, unfortunately, with winter and food sources declining, you do have to keep an eye out for predators.
They definitely go for what's easy, and that's usually livestock.
And especially at night when they're all nestled in, that's when they want to come out.
They're nice and dormant, and the predators are nice and active.
Yeah. Peace Home said, I got 13 plus inches of snow in Western PA in the storm earlier this week. Wow.
That can keep it.
Yeah. And when you get that much, I mean, that makes it harder to do chores around the farm. I know a couple times we've gotten snow. The goats don't want to go out.
13 inches, and the goats are like, here, they're like, we ain't going nowhere. And I usually have to dig them like a path to the water.
They'll make little trails to like the water, to like a loop out in the field real quick, and then back in. Like, that's funny.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That is super rough.
Out Creek, gotta go, guys. Been listening while driving home. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Cody. Good to see you, bud.
Kaylin said, hope ducks are okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's for so stressful.
And we had the other night we saw some eyes in our field, but and then the dog took off in that direction, but we never confirmed what it was. So something that the dogs didn't like.
The dogs didn't like it, and as soon as the light hit it, it ducked underneath the log that it was standing on and took off.
Oh no! Well, so it said 2 don't look so good. Hopefully you can doctor them back up and just give them some extra care and try to. I know if they're not feeling well, Ashley usually just resorts to bring them in the house to keep them.
I bring them into the house, but like honestly, like they go. There's some specific ones where like it's mercy to dispatch.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
It's mercy to dispatch, and then if you can harvest whatever you can from them to make it at least meaningful for you and your family, like butchering them out.
They got to them, it sounds like, pretty early though, too.
I hope they come through for you. That's so awful.
That's awful. And that said, I heard there is a special grain mix to feed your goats during milk testing.
Yeah, you want to push higher proteins, and that'll change breeder to breeder. You'll have certain people that will feed specific things that they will swear by. So that'll be something I would talk to multiple breeders, see what they like to feed, because the higher the protein, like the better.
It's like Jay, because he always has a funny comment that pops in. He's like,
what's the difference between a possum and an opossum? The opossum
is Irish.
Jay, are you coming in hot with the dad jokes tonight?
I like it. I must put that one in my back pocket.
He's been hitting dad jokes hard lately, so he's probably like, yo.
It's like a good winter activity when it's cold outside. Let's think of some corny jokes.
Oh my gosh. They dug a hole into the coop. Oh. That's so awful.
Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. There is, if they're hungry enough, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
And then Kaylin says, I have to run. Time to FaceTime with Trent before he goes to bed. He's in Ohio all week. Well, tell hi, neighbor, to Trent. Yeah. And thanks for stopping in, Kaylin. I love talking with you. Hopefully I'll get to see you at some shows this year. Sunny coming in hot. Come on, Emma. Emma is so good. -3.
Wow, White Shoulder said that. That's almost cold enough for when you're taking the bottle out. It's almost cold by the time
you're just like holding it to your body, like hold the temperature, hold the temperature. You're using those as your hand warmer, just carrying them out there.
So do you? I imagine you guys are using probably tank warmers. I know we've had good luck with we mentioned before the heating rings we lay in the bottom of the tanks, but fortunately we have not had too much extremely cold weather.
No. Today, my face hurt outside. There have only been a few days where my face really hurt outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've been doing a roller coaster. Like earlier this week, we got into the high for Monday. Was it Tuesday and Wednesday? Right? It was high 40s. And then today it was a high of like 20. Where I'm like, Mother Nature, you need to just quit hitting the bottle there, girl.
Yeah.
You need to just level out. Either stay cold or be warm.
Yeah, for sure. Then that said, okay, I'll go post a pic. See you later, you two. By the way, you're both looking great.
Well, thank you, Danette. Thanks for stopping in. I enjoyed talking with you. I stick my tongue out when I do that. What is the thing?
Don't know. Because Celtic Roots is all laughing right now. I'm probably acting goofy.
I know he's got us all feeling goofy. Thanks, Jay. Actually, really, thank you though, because I've had a rough week, so I kind of need this.
Yeah. Because Haas is also good for that. He'll jump in and get us all riled up.
He likes to come in and stir the pot and then leave.
You can definitely tell why he's a teacher. And I'm sure he does that in his classes right before they get to the next class.
Oh, I'm sure. I
could see him doing that.
Yes, Kat. Mud farmers. We are mud farmers in this place.
To veer off that topic a little bit, tell them what your search terms were on that video.
Oh.
She was reading them off the other day, and I was trying to keep from laughing while I was on the work call, by the way.
Were you on a work call?
I think you were. I was when you were telling me.
So I did have the video where it says, but I don't want to be a mud farmer. So that one actually was getting like lots of traction for what it was. And I was like, why is this doing so well? So I went in and looked at the search terms, and it was barefoot mud girl, barefoot girl in mud. And let me see if I can see what the terms are. Farm girl in mud.
Yep.
I'm like, I just don't want to be a mud farmer.
You got a niche there.
No. So see, right now it's barefoot in mud, homesteading. I'll go with that one. Mud. I'll go with that one. Mud feet. Mud girl.
Hey, it's kind of a little more appropriate.
It was kind of raunchy. I don't even want to know. Like, I'm good.
I mean, YouTube has a way of like revealing there's groups out there. You're just like, huh.
I'm like, whoa, I hit the fetish group. That's good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay to watch. Don't need your comments. No. Emma said it was cold today, supposed to drop to 2 tonight, which is not good because that's probably headed our way.
They actually got snow and it parted.
He's like Moses.
Parted across the Hoosier State. Yeah, that just went north and south of us. Like we didn't get any of that. That was crazy.
Emma said Jay's like this in real life too.
I am so bummed we didn't get to talk to you guys at HOA. So it has to happen.
As much as I hate to say it, we were sort of shy and intimidated by a bunch of the people.
Yeah.
Like she called out Celtic Roots. I'm like, man, they look cool, but I'm afraid to go.
That
look like a geek.
They look too cool, so we're just gonna move over here. Yeah. Well, even like Nicole and Chip, like Nicole came over and started talking, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, thank God they called us out. We sort of flew under the radar because, until we get to know people, we're just sort of shy.
Yeah.
Emma kept us acquainted with people walking around.
Emma knew everybody.
Dawn was nice.
Dawn was super nice. I really enjoyed meeting Dawn.
It was funny. Like a lot of them were just open up front to come up and say hi.
Yeah.
Which was just
like awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
We needed for the first time. But I think next year will be out of our show a bit more.
Hopefully, hopefully until we're there in front of you, we're like,
Oh, so I'd say, may I service you was the best CGI quote ever from your past video. I about died laughing. Was that Wolf said that mentioned that before you were saying
something like it? And I was looking at it right before we went live, and I'm like, oh God, she liked that. But that's what the Bucks do. They come up and they're like, hello. Mm-hmm. How are you? Are we getting close? May I service you? You know, it's like, can I help you, ladies?
Yeah.
Because he was happy to service.
White Shoulder said, oh, it's Hercules. He's a gentle giant, a real sweetheart. Bottle raised. I've had mean. They don't stay.
Yeah, they don't.
I sort of laughed because one of our first does we took off site to be bred was to a farm in Hercules. And the guy, like, as we dropped off our doe, the buck was interested right away, which was good.
Right off the bat.
I mean,
which is what we wanted.
But like in the middle of talking to him, he just yelled, "Get him, Herc! Get him, Herc!"
Yeah.
Just why we're trying to talk to him, like it was like, but their buck was Hercules.
He always looked like he was looking directly into the sun.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Get him, Herc!" And I was like, "Could you stop?"
So
we're trying to have a conversation. And talk about when we're going to pick them up, what the rate's going to be, all of that good stuff. And he just stopped in the middle. Get them, Herc. And then we're all looking over and there's goat coitus happening. I'm like, I know what this is.
Yeah. Just to settle that agreement. Unfortunately, it took about 30 minutes, which was probably 25 minutes longer.
But you can tell, you could really feel like this guy really wanted Herc to know, like, get him. You know?
Said, haha, you found a niche. Yep. Probably too cold to go out barefoot in the mud yet, but that's funny.
That was one of the first ones. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So from now on, if you put that tag on there, you might keep that crowd warm.
So if you see mine in every single video's title, you know what
Will said, like she said, may I be of service, put that as a tag on each one. You guys are killing it.
Gotta hit that niche, man.
Diesel said, I'm the same way. I don't talk to a lot of people this year at the HOA either. I didn't talk to a lot of people at the HOA. Yeah, we were, like we said, we were trying not to be.
I'm sorry.
I'm like trying to carry the chat here, and you're just losing it. But yeah, we had that same way. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the second day that we
were a lot more comfortable
with it. But first day was definitely like, oh, that's that channel. Ashley was that way with what was it, the Honeystead scene?
Yeah, when I saw Kaylee, I was like, oh, it's cute. It was awful. Emma was right there with me because I'm like, I just love her so much.
Yes. Okay.
It's a combination.
Jay, it's your fault. You started with the whole opossum joke. And
see what happens?
Once you get Ashley rolled, she's good to go. So credit to Jay with the good timing joke. The other one, like Beehive Homestead, was awesome.
we love talking to Jared. Yeah. He's really awesome. There are just a lot of people there that you talk with them, and you could just tell like they had really authentic and original personalities, and they just were there to kind of like fellowship, and I love that. Jay, you can't go anywhere. Paparazzi is just too much these days. It's that flowing beard, Jay. That's really what it is.
Wolfside's enjoying it. White Shoulders, I've never shown any of mine. Really?
You should though.
Yeah, especially with that growth rate.
This is going to be my first year like showing myself.
So can I ask you, White Shoulders, do you guys usually just sell for 4-H then, or do other 4-Hers for show? Or
are you actually like marketing them, like sending them off to market?
Like a breeding program?
Because that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Calm down.
Just gotta pull it in. Just gotta rein it in sometimes.
Emma said I was shy at HOA too, but I met a few folks from the last in-person events.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot that you'd gone to those.
Oh.
We needed like a warm up before all of that because I got there. I was really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I was really not feeling like the whole vlogging in public until like you look around and like everybody's vlogging in public. So I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Jay said I'd probably have a lot more views on our channels if Cheryl didn't filter all of my thumbnails and titles.
Well, there's a good experiment though, Jay. Maybe you should say, just let me have 1 month where I do my titles and I do my own thumbnails, no filtering, and we'll see. The analytics tell the truth.
White Shoulders pronounce it correctly. Kufir. Yeah, Kufir.
Kufir.
I think. What was it?
Kufir.
Yeah.
Kufir.
Yeah, Emma said Ashley was fangirling so hard about Kayla.
Emma was just like, just go talk to her. And I'm like, I can't.
But then there's like some, like after the event, like we ended up being fans of them, like the Fit Farmer. Like I think he had one of the greatest speaking events
like,
there.
His little workshop was just so good.
And
like
honestly,
I needed it in my soul.
We didn't somewhat like who he was, but like we didn't watch much of his content. Just we have different people we follow, and like we really didn't catch on to him much. But after the event, now we've watched him pretty consistent, which is awesome. So no, I'd get banned. Jay
what
says,
pray tell would be on your thumbnails and titles then, Jay? That would get you banned.
Hey, we got some weird stuff going on with mud girl, mud feet, all this stuff. So
or horny goat. That shows up all the time in my
I may be of service. That's what
I get asked for milking videos all the time from like random like not from people that don't want to watch me milk goats for good reasons.
It's weird that there's that content out there because like they'll ban you for just natural stuff, like the birthing videos actually has to be picky and step lightly around it. Yeah. And like she has to put even disclaimers on the video. Hey, this is a little graphic
if you don't want to see a live birth.
That out there.
Where there's like, ma'am, more milk videos pronto.
Yeah.
ASAP. It's like
he said he'd be the bearded mud feet guy. There you go. Jay, if you do it first, maybe I'll follow up.
Jay, you could do a whole video on just stomping your feet in mud and see what it does.
It makes me think of the I Love Lucy scene where Lucy's in the winery. The grapes.
She's stomping on her grapes.
It'd just be mud, though. Unfortunately, though, those people probably should realize in a barnyard, it's more
not
than mud.
Yeah, it's not mud.
It's a lot more than mud.
There's a lot of ingredients in there.
Yeah, for sure. Emma, and I looked up the Russian pronunciation, and it's a tad different.
Oh, what is it? Is it kufir? Tell me.
Yeah.
I must know now.
It's probably like a real strong way of saying Russian.
Oh my gosh. Then Jay said, I had wild, wonderful off-grid cracking up at the HOA. She was so mad she wasn't recording at the time. I told Josh he was much taller in person as I towered over him.
As I towered over him. That is great.
That's when you're like, well, what did you think I was? Like a little person?
Yeah.
Mike at the Fit Farmer is a super. He was actually in line like behind me. Not behind. He came up to the line I was in to get food. Like the first day when we were waiting like 2 hours to get lunch, and he was just like really nice guy. He was like, so what do we got over here? Does it look good? Are they moving fast? Am I gonna be here for 2 hours? Like, you're gonna be anywhere in these lines for 2 hours, but it does look good.
Yep. Oh, Randy said I'm the other half of White Shoulder Boar. I didn't realize that. We sell to 4-H and whoever. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure the 4-Hers are happy to get that as bloodlines those bucks.
Because put that under rate of gain, baby.
Yeah.
Get that rate of gain banner.
All right. Well, it is getting late. My voice is starting to get.
Yeah, and I don't need to be talking about any more mud girl, mud feet.
Yeah.
Any of that. Just
too much,
go down the rabbit hole.
How they were saying we made it on their channel for about 3 seconds. We were famous now. There you go. Hey, you made it on there. That's it.
You're like, fame has found me. All right, but I think we are going to go ahead and sign off.
Emma said, "No, that's an idea. I can run through mud in my chicken boots, wearing a sundress in slow mo. That'll get some views."
You have to have like the Baywatch music to it, though, Emma. Hair down, because your hair is beautiful, lady.
I can't add much to that. All right. Well, like we said, we're going to wrap things up. It was great.
Oh my God.
Having everyone here tonight. We're so glad everybody got to celebrate with us for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's really gone by fast, but we've made some fantastic friends.
Yeah, look who's in the chat. Yeah, love having time with you guys. Love talking with y'all. But we will talk to you guys this time next Wednesday, not on Thursday.
Yeah, we're going back to
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. We will be back with you all, but we hope that you all are staying safe out there and being kind to one another, and we're going to catch you next one.
Yep, have a good night.
God bless, guys.